Uprooted, a family torn apart. Gladys and Nelson Gonzalez were living the American dream. For 35 years the United States had been their home, the place where they built a life, raised a family, and planted their roots. They never imagined that one day, their world would be turned upside down. On a cold February morning in 2025, ICE officers arrived at their doorstep, shattering their tranquility and tearing them away from everything they held dear. Deportation, a word they had feared for years, had become their harsh reality. This is the story of a family broken by a system that often feels cold and unforgiving. Gladys and Nelson's story is not unique. It's a story echoed across the nation, a stark reminder of the human cost of America's complex and often contradictory immigration policies. Their deportation, after decades of trying to navigate the legal system, highlights the precarious existence of countless immigrants living in the shadows, clinging to the hope of one day belonging. The Gonzalez family's plight forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about justice, fairness, and the meaning of home. Seeking refuge. The American dream beckons. In 1989, Gladys and Nelson made the heart-wrenching decision to leave their native Colombia. They were fleeing a country plagued by violence, seeking a safe haven for themselves and their future family. The United States, with its promise of freedom and opportunity, beckoned like a shining beacon of hope. They arrived full of dreams, ready to work hard and contribute to their new home. They settled in Los Angeles, a vibrant city pulsing with the energy of diverse cultures. Nelson found work as a mechanic, his calloused hands skillfully repairing engines. Gladys, with her warm smile and nurturing spirit, became a beloved caregiver, tending to the elderly with unwavering dedication. They built a life brick by brick, their days filled with the simple joys of family, faith, and community. They were living proof that the American dream, though often elusive, was within reach for those willing to strive for it. Navigating the legal labyrinth, a system rife with pitfalls. From the outset, Gladys and Nelson knew their immigration status was precarious. They had entered the country without authorization, their hopes pinned on seeking asylum. The legal process, however, proved to be a daunting maze, filled with complex paperwork, endless deadlines, and a language they were still struggling to master. Lawyers were expensive, a luxury their meager earnings could ill afford. They scraped by, relying on the kindness of friends and community members for translations and advice. The fear of deportation cast a long shadow over their lives, but they held on to hope. They believed that by working hard, paying taxes, and raising their 3 daughters to be upstanding citizens, they would find a way to legalize their status and secure their future. Their faith in the system, however, would soon be tested. Section 4. False Promises and Shattered Hopes. The heavy toll of predatory practices. Desperate to navigate the complexities of immigration law, Gladys and Nelson sought help from an immigration consultant. He painted a rosy picture, promising them a straightforward path to legal residency. He charged exorbitant fees, assuring them that their case was a sure win. Blinded by hope and their limited understanding of the legal system, they poured their savings into his hands, unaware that they were falling prey to a predator. Years passed, but the promised green cards never materialized. The consultant, it turned out, was not a licensed attorney and had misled them with false hopes. By the time they realized they had been scammed, it was too late. Their case had been mishandled, their applications riddled with errors, and their trust in the very system that was supposed to offer them protection, irrevocably shattered. The weight of this betrayal, coupled with the fear of imminent deportation, hung over their heads like a dark cloud. Section 5. A family divided daughters grapple with the unthinkable. The threat of deportation wasn't just an abstract legal concept for the Gonzalez family, it was a terrifying reality that threatened to rip their world apart. Their 3 daughters, Sophia, Elena, and Isabel, were born in the United States, citizens of a country that was now threatening to separate them from their parents. They watched in anguish as their parents' faces creased with worry, their laughter tinged with a new kind of sadness. The girls grew up quickly, forced to confront a reality no child should have to face. They became their parents' advocates, translating documents, accompanying them to court dates, and trying to make sense of a system that seemed determined to tear their family apart. The emotional toll was immeasurable. Fear and uncertainty became constant companions, casting a long shadow over their childhood and adolescence.